Many people hear about Virginia cannabis equity programs but never understand who actually provides the training, education, and policy support behind the scenes. Today we are breaking down one of the key organizations involved in that work, the Virginia Minority Cannabis Coalition. Here's the context. Over the past several years, Virginia has created cannabis equity initiatives designed to address historical disparities created by past cannabis enforcement. While state agencies manage funding and oversight, much of the real-world education and training is delivered through independent organizations. One of those organizations is the Virginia Minority Cannabis Coalition, often referred to as VMCC. This video is part of a larger educational series explaining how Virginia Cannabis Equity Reinvestment works, who is involved, and what types of support actually exist. Legal and policy background. The Virginia Cannabis Equity Reinvestment Program was created to reinvest resources into communities that were disproportionately impacted by cannabis prohibition. The program focuses on education, workforce development, reentry support, and community-based initiatives. Importantly, the state itself does not directly run all training or outreach programs. Instead, it collaborates with nonprofit organizations, coalitions, and advocacy groups that already have strong community ties. The Virginia Minority Cannabis Coalition is one of those organizations that has historically focused on education, policy engagement, and capacity building rather than cannabis sales or cultivation. Who the Virginia Minority Cannabis Coalition is. The Virginia Minority Cannabis Coalition is an organization that provides policy-focused education, training programs, and informational resources related to cannabis reform and equity in Virginia. Their work has included educational boot camps, policy briefings, leadership training, and guidance designed to help individuals from historically impacted communities better understand regulatory systems. They do not issue licenses. They do not approve funding. They do not sell cannabis. Their role is educational and informational. What type of support they provide? Based on public information and prior program descriptions, the Virginia Minority Cannabis Coalition has offered educational workshops explaining Virginia cannabis laws, policy literacy training focused on regulatory frameworks, leadership development and advocacy education, community discussions around equity and reinvestment, support navigating public policy conversations. These programs are designed to increase understanding, not guarantee outcomes. Here's an important compliance note. Participation in any educational program does not guarantee a license, grant, or business approval. Virginia cannabis licensing remains tightly regulated by state law, zoning requirements, and agency review. This distinction matters legally and ethically. Who this affects. This type of organization primarily affects individuals seeking policy education, community leaders involved in reinvestment efforts, advocates interested in regulatory reform, residents of historically impacted communities, people exploring workforce or educational pathways. It is not limited to business owners. Why this matters? Many people misunderstand cannabis equity and assume it is only about business ownership. In reality, much of the reinvestment framework focuses on education, policy access, and civic participation. Organizations like the Virginia Minority Cannabis Coalition help bridge the gap between complex laws and real people. Without that education, misinformation spreads quickly. Here's a scenario. Imagine a Norfolk resident who wants to understand how cannabis policy affects housing, employment, or community reinvestment. They may not want to open a business. They may simply want accurate information. An organization like VMCC provides structured education without pushing products, services, or consumption. That is the role they play. Limitations and changes over time. It is important to understand that organizations involved in equity programs may change, expand, or shift focus over time. Funding structures evolve. Partnerships change. This is why staying informed matters. What to watch next? In upcoming videos, we will also examine other organizations involved in Virginia cannabis equity education, including BIPOCAN and No Left Turns. Each organization plays a different role. Question: do you believe education and policy literacy are just as important as funding in cannabis equity programs? Put your answer in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. It directly helps our educational mission. Your engagement helps more members of our community find clear, reliable information on complex topics like equity programs. Thank you.